The sky was clear over Colorado Springs when it began. Lana Carter sat at her desk inside NORAD's underground command center. She was 32, smart, and used to boring shifts filled with routine checks and quiet radios. But that day, everything changed. At exactly 3:17 a.m., alarms blared through the halls. Red lights flashed. Computers screamed warnings. Lana leaned forward, eyes wide as the main screen lit up with a single word. Contact. Dozens of objects had appeared above the planet. They were huge, bigger than any known satellite or aircraft. They moved fast but silent, gliding into orbit like shadows across the sun. "What the hell are those?" someone whispered behind her. Lana didn't answer. She couldn't. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard as she pulled up data from every available source. No country had launched anything. No company had satellites matching these profiles. They weren't human. Then the signal came. It wasn't spoken in any language anyone knew, but somehow everyone understood. Surrender now, or be destroyed. The message played again and again. World leaders scrambled. Within hours, the United Nations held an emergency meeting broadcast live to the world. Some called for peace talks, others demanded war. In Washington, President Elliott gave a speech that was seen by billions. "We do not know who or what has come to us," he said, voice shaking slightly. "But we will not act in fear. We will respond carefully, wisely, and together." Carefully, wisely, together. Those words sounded good on TV, but outside, people were already panicking. In New York, crowds gathered in the streets. Some prayed, others cried. Many just stared up at the sky, watching the dark shapes circle above. In Texas, Ethan Cole stood on his porch, looking up too. He was a former Marine, now a survival instructor. He trained small groups in self-defense, wilderness survival, and how to handle weapons. Most people thought he was paranoid. Now they weren't so sure. "Looks like I wasn't crazy after all," he muttered. His wife, Julia, stepped beside him. "What do you think they want?" "Doesn't matter," he said. "If they're asking us to surrender, they already know we can fight." Meanwhile, in California, Dr. Marcus Bell stared at his computer screen in disbelief. He was a physicist, not a soldier. He studied stars, black holes, and the chances of alien life. Until today, he thought finding intelligent life would be exciting. Now, he felt sick. He spent the next few hours analyzing the alien ships' movement patterns, trying to understand their tech. He found something strange. Some of the signals coming from the ships didn't match each other, like they weren't all working together. "Maybe they're not even unified," he said out loud. He sent his findings to a few colleagues. Then, almost by accident, he copied them to a public science forum. Within minutes, the post went viral. People started asking questions. Could there be a split among the aliens? Could some of them be friendly? Back at NORAD, Lana read the same post. She frowned, then typed a quick message to her boss. "I think we might have a chance." But the clock was ticking. The aliens had given Earth 48 hours. 48 hours before they decided whether humanity lived or died. Governments argued, military leaders planned, scientists theorized, and somewhere in the middle of it all, regular people made choices. Some chose fear, others chose fire. Lana Carter sat in front of her screen, eyes tired but focused. The alien message had played again and again since it first arrived. Surrender now, or be destroyed. That was all they said. But Lana wasn't convinced that was all they meant. She replayed the signal for the 100th time. There was something strange about it, something hidden beneath the main message. It wasn't just a threat. There were layers. Dr. Marcus Bell had noticed it too. He had sent out his findings online, and now people all over the world were listening. They started hearing things in the signal most had missed before. A second voice, almost like a whisper buried under the main demand. It didn't say surrender. It said help. Lana worked fast. She pulled up every frequency she could find, diving deep into the data. What if this wasn't just one group speaking? What if there was more than one kind of alien out there? Her fingers flew across the keyboard as she isolated the faintest parts of the signal. And then there it was, a different pattern. Not part of the main message, but attached to it like a shadow. It was a plea. "Boss," she called out, "I think we just got a new problem." Commander Reyes walked over, frowning. "What do you mean?" "I think the aliens aren't all on the same side," she said. "Some of them might not want to destroy us at all." Reyes looked at the screen, then back at her. "That's a big claim." "It's true," she said. "Listen." She played the cleaned-up version of the signal. This time the message was clear. "They lie. We do not wish war." Back in California, Dr. Bell got a call from an unknown number. He almost ignored it, but something told him not to. "Bell," a voice said on the other end. "You're right. Not all of them came here to conquer." "Who is this?" he asked. "That doesn't matter. What matters is that we can help. If you can help us." Bell swallowed hard. "Who are you?" "A friend," the voice said. "But not for long if you don't act soon." Meanwhile, Ethan, Cole was already moving. He had heard rumors online, whispers of what some scientists were finding. He didn't trust the government to make the right call. He trusted action. He gathered his team, people he had trained, people who knew how to fight, survive, and move unseen. Some were ex-military. Others were hackers, engineers, even a former drone pilot. "We've got two choices," he told them. "Sit back and wait for orders or get ahead of this." Julia looked at him. "And what exactly are we getting ahead of?" "If these signals are real," he said, "then maybe we've got a chance to turn this thing around before it even starts." In Washington, President Elliott stood in front of the press. His face was tight with stress. "We have reviewed the latest intelligence," he said. "At this time, we cannot confirm any internal conflict among the alien forces. Our priority remains defense and diplomacy." But while diplomats talked, others acted. A small military unit intercepted a strange transmission near Alaska. It wasn't from Earth, it was coming from one of the alien ships, but it wasn't broadcasting to Earth. It was broadcasting to another ship. The message was short. "They resist. We must hold position." It wasn't a command to attack. It was a warning. By midnight, the world was watching and waiting. Governments debated, people prayed, and in secret places, small groups made their own plans. Because some knew the truth now. Earth wasn't just being watched, it was being judged, and not. Everyone up there agreed on what should happen next. The world held its breath. 48 hours had passed since the aliens first arrived. The deadline came and went like a silent storm. No attack. No message. Just silence from above. But that didn't mean peace. Inside NORAD, Lana Carter stared at her screen. Something was happening. The alien ships weren't moving like before. Some were shifting position, others were powering down. "They're confused," she whispered. Commander Reyes stood behind her. "Explain." "They don't know what we'll do next," she said. "They expected us to kneel, but we didn't." Outside, the world waited for news. In Washington, President Elliott sat in his office, surrounded by generals and advisors. They had voted, unanimously, to send a message of surrender. Not because they wanted to, but because they feared what would come next. "We can't risk total destruction," one general said. "But if we give in now," another argued, "we lose everything." Across town, Ethan Cole got the news from a friend inside the Pentagon. "They're really doing it," his friend said over the phone. "They're going to say yes." Ethan clenched his jaw. "Not if I can help it." He hung up and turned to his team. Julia stood beside him, arms crossed. "What's the plan?" she asked. "We take control of the signal," he said. "We make sure the whole world hears our voice." It wasn't just about pride. It was about survival. If Earth showed weakness, now there would be no second chance. In California, Dr. Marcus Bell received an urgent message from someone inside the UN Science Division. "They're broadcasting a reply in 10 minutes. The message read, "We need to stop it." Bell knew what that meant. He grabbed his laptop and called every scientist, hacker, and tech expert he trusted. "We've got one shot," he told them. "If we jam their signal, the world might never hear their surrender." Back. In Colorado, Lana watched as the official UN channel prepared to go live. "Please," she muttered, "someone do something." And then, the feed cut. Not broken. Replaced. A new image filled every screen across the globe. It wasn't a politician. It wasn't a soldier. It was a man in a dusty jacket standing in front of a burned-out building. His face was serious. His voice was calm. "This is Ethan Cole," he said. "Earth does not kneel." The world froze. Behind him, others stepped into view. Soldiers, hackers, doctors, teachers, even farmers. "We will not surrender," he continued. "We will fight. We will survive. And we will burn before we bow." Then the screen changed. Again. A map appeared showing where alien signals were weakest, where their defenses had gaps, where people could strike back. The message was clear. Here's how you fight. Across the planet, people reacted. In Moscow, a group of engineers launched a hidden satellite designed to scramble alien comms. In Nairobi, students hacked into government networks and leaked classified defense plans to the public. In Texas, a militia group used the intel to destroy a drone that had been watching their town for days. And in New York, the president's speech was canceled. Instead, the world saw Ethan's message on loop. Some called it treason, others called it hope. Lana smiled as she watched the chaos unfold. "They're not unified," she whispered. "And now neither are we." She typed fast, sending data to every free thinker, every fighter, every mind ready to push back, because this wasn't just war anymore, it was fire, and Earth had just lit the match. The sky burned with fire and light. After Ethan's message spread across the world, the silence broke. Earth had made its choice, not surrender, but war. Alien ships moved fast. They dropped from orbit like dark stars, glowing as they cut through the sky. Energy shields shimmered around them, making them untouchable, at least for now. But humanity had something the aliens didn't expect: anger, and it came with numbers. In Colorado, Lana Carter worked non-stop inside NORAD. She pulled every signal she could find, searching for weaknesses. The aliens were smart, but they weren't perfect. Their systems lagged, their defenses had blind spots, and their ships didn't talk to each other perfectly. "They're not used to this," she said to Commander Reyes. "They thought we'd be easy." Reyes looked at the screens full of data. "Then let's make sure they keep thinking that, until it's too late." Across the country, small groups of fighters began moving. They weren't big armies. Some were just a few people with old radios and stolen tech. But they shared one goal: hit the aliens before the aliens hit them. Ethan Cole led his team into Texas, where a damaged alien pod had landed 2 days ago. It was half buried in the ground, smoke still rising from its broken frame. "We've got maybe 20 minutes before more come looking," Julia said. "Then we move fast," Ethan replied. Inside the pod, they found things they didn't understand: glowing panels, strange weapons, and what looked like a control center. One of the team, a hacker named Kyle, jacked into the system using a laptop and cables pulled from a junkyard. "I don't know if this will work," he said. "It has to," Ethan said. Kyle pressed enter. The screen flickered. Then, lines of code started scrolling down. He smiled. "We're in." Back in California, Dr. Marcus Bell met with a group of engineers. They had spent years working on old missile tech, ICBMs built during the Cold War but never used. Now those same missiles were being reprogrammed. "Point them up," one engineer said. "We're not shooting at each other anymore. We're shooting at them." The first launch happened in Russia. A repurposed satellite station fired an experimental railgun at a low-orbit alien ship. The shot missed by meters, but it wasn't ignored. Then China launched a drone strike, not with bombs but with EMPs. One of the alien ships lost power for 7 seconds. 7 seconds was enough. A hidden U.S. fighter jet flying under enemy radar dropped a modified warhead straight into the side of another vessel. The explosion lit the sky like a second sun. Across the globe, people watched. Not just leaders or soldiers, but teachers, farmers, mechanics. They saw the ships falling. They saw the aliens bleed, and they fought back harder. Hackers took over city surveillance networks, turning traffic cameras into eyes for the resistance. Farmers in Iowa rerouted drone swarms meant for crop monitoring into attack formations. Students in Tokyo built jammer devices out of old phones and car parts. The fight wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but it was real. Lana pulled up a live feed from New York. An alien command ship hovered above Manhattan, protected by a glowing dome of energy. No missile had touched it yet, until tonight. She typed fast, linking up with rebel hackers in 6 different countries. Together, they sent fake signals to the alien defense grid. False threats, fake attacks, lies. And it worked. For just 10 seconds, the shield flickered. 10 seconds was all it took. A converted weather satellite fired a kinetic rod from orbit. It struck the alien ship like a spear from heaven. The explosion lit up half the city. Cheers rose from the streets. People shouted, cried, laughed, because for the first time the aliens knew fear. And Earth? Earth was just getting started. The aliens were losing control. After the strike on the command ship above New York, they started pulling back. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Some ships vanished into space. Others stayed low, hiding behind energy shields that flickered, under constant attack. But humanity had tasted blood. In Colorado, Lana Carter worked non-stop inside NORAD. She had cracked part of the alien signal code and found something big, weaknesses in their shield system. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. She typed fast, sending out everything she had found to every rebel group, hacker team, and fighter still standing. "This is it," she said. "If we hit them now, we can break them." Commander Reyes read the data over her shoulder. "This could work, but we'll need help from everywhere." Help came from places no one expected. In Texas, Ethan Cole and his team finished uploading stolen alien data onto a portable drive. They had taken it from the crashed pod 2 nights ago. Now they were ready to move. "We've got what they need," Ethan told Julia. "Now we just have to get it to someone who can use it." Julia looked at the map on the table. "That means going through enemy zones." "Then we go quiet," he said. They packed up and left before dawn. Meanwhile, in California, Dr. Marcus Bell met with a team of engineers. They had been working non-stop since the first strikes. Using old tech, new ideas, and stolen alien parts, they built something dangerous, a pulse weapon. It wouldn't destroy a whole ship, but if timed right, it could knock out alien shields for a few seconds. And that was all they needed. Bell stood in front of the small group. "This changes everything," he said. "If we can hit them when they're open, we can win." One of the engineers asked, "How do we spread this?" Bell smiled. "We upload it. Everywhere." Within hours, the plan was in motion. Across the world, fighters prepared. In Moscow, rebels loaded EMP drones onto old jets. In Nairobi, hackers broke into alien comms and fed false signals to enemy forces. In Tokyo, students launched homemade satellites designed to interfere with alien navigation systems. And in Washington, President Elliott watched the chaos unfold. His generals wanted to call a ceasefire, to negotiate. But the people didn't want peace. Not yet. They wanted fire. Ethan and his team reached a hidden base outside Chicago. There, they handed over the alien files. Engineers went to work. Within minutes, the data was uploaded and shared across the globe. Then came the first test. A small militia group in Florida aimed an old missile at a hovering alien drone. They fired. The drone's shield held for 5 seconds. Then the pulse hit. The shield blinked off. The missile struck true. The drone exploded in a flash of blue light. Cheers rose from the streets. It worked. Lana watched the feed from Florida and smiled. "They're not gods," she whispered. "They're just machines, and machines can be broken." Over the next 48 hours, the tide turned. Alien ships fell like stones from the sky. One by one, they were hit, by missiles, by hacked drones, by simple bombs dropped from stolen planes. Some aliens tried to flee. Others fought harder, but the message was clear. Earth did not kneel. Earth burned, and now Earth was coming for them, not with fear, not with hope, but with fire. The war had changed. What started as a fight for survival had become something else. The aliens were no longer in control. They were falling back, retreating, even surrendering in some places. But not all of them. Some refused to leave. They turned desperate. And when they did, they became dangerous. In the skies over Denver, a wounded alien command ship hovered low, bleeding fire from its broken hull. It had been hit twice by rebel missiles, but it still flew, and it was preparing to strike back. On the ground, Ethan Cole led his team through the ruins of an old military base. Smoke rose from burned-out cars and shattered buildings. The city had taken heavy damage, but people were still fighting. Julia walked beside him, her rifle slung over one shoulder. "We don't have much time," she said. Ethan nodded. "I know." They reached a makeshift command post set up inside a collapsed gym. Inside, rebels worked fast, fixing radios, loading weapons, planning strikes. One of them, a young woman named Megan, looked up as Ethan entered. "We've got a problem," she said. "That ship above us? It's charging something big." Ethan frowned. "Define big." Megan tapped a screen. A radar feed showed energy spikes coming from the alien vessel. "It's building up a blast," she said. "If it goes off, half the city goes with it." Ethan cursed under his breath. "We can't let that happen." Back in Colorado, Lana Carter sat at her desk, tired but focused. She had intercepted new alien messages. Some were calling for retreat, but others were different, more aggressive. "They're splitting," she told Commander Reyes. "Some want to leave. Others want to burn us." Reyes stared at the reports coming in from around the world. Cities were falling, not just from alien attacks, but from the cost of war. "We're winning," he said. "But we're losing too." Lana didn't answer. Her fingers flew across the keyboard as she pulled up a live feed from Chicago. A group of rebels had managed to board a fallen alien ship. They weren't looting it. They were fighting inside it. And then the screen went black. She leaned forward. "No. No, no, no." Then a final message came through. "We did it. We stopped the core. But we're not coming back." Lana closed her eyes. They had saved thousands. But they had lost good people. Meanwhile, Dr. Marcus Bell stood on the roof of a ruined university watching the sky. His team had done what they could. The pulse tech was everywhere now. Every fighter, every hacker, every city had it. It had changed the war, but it hadn't ended it. He turned as someone approached. "Did you hear?" the man asked. "New York took another hit." Bell nodded. "So did Dallas and Berlin." The man looked tired. "How long can we keep this up?" Bell didn't answer right away. He looked up at the dark shapes still circling above. "As long as we have to," he said, because that was the truth. Earth wasn't winning because it had better weapons or stronger ships. It was winning because it wouldn't stop. Even when cities burned, even when friends died, even when the sky turned red with fire. Ethan and his team moved out before sunrise. Their mission was clear: reach the alien ship above Denver and destroy it before it could fire. They rode stolen jeeps and old bikes, armed with whatever they could carry. As they drove, Julia looked at him. "You think we'll make it?" Ethan kept his eyes on the road. "I don't know," he said. "But if we don't, someone else will." Because that was how Earth fought. Not with perfect plans, not with endless power, but with stubbornness, with fire, and with the simple, unbreakable truth: Earth does not kneel, Earth burns, and sometimes it wins. The last alien ship burned over Denver. Ethan Cole watched from a distance as it fell, smoke trailing behind like a dying star. His team had done the job. Not all of them made it back, But they had won. The war was over. But Earth was not the same. Across the world, silence followed the fire. In cities that still stood, people stepped outside and looked at the sky. The dark ships were gone. Some had fled. Others had been destroyed. And a few had landed, not in attack but in surrender. In Colorado, Lana Carter sat in front of her screen one last time. Her fingers were tired. Her eyes were red. But she smiled. She looked at the final message flashing on her monitor. All alien transmission ceased. Commander Reyes walked in behind her. "It's done," he said. Lana nodded. "Yeah, it is." But peace came with scars. New York was broken. Berlin was half in ruins. Tokyo smoldered for days after the last strike. Millions were gone. Families lost. Lives changed forever. And yet people stood up. Not just soldiers or leaders. Farmers, teachers, engineers, hackers. Kids who built weapons out of old phones. They had fought. And they had won. In Washington, President Elliott gave a speech that wasn't filled with victory chants or empty promises. "We are not heroes," he said. "We are survivors. We did what we had to do. And now, we rebuild." Back in California, Dr. Marcus Bell walked through the remains of his university. Books were burned, labs were smashed, but some things still worked. He met with a small group of scientists and students. "We have to keep going," he told them. "This isn't just about fighting anymore. It's about making sure this never happens again." One student asked, "What do we do next?" Bell looked up at the sky. "We learn," he said. "We grow. And if anyone else comes looking, we make sure they know exactly who we are." Ethan returned home 2 weeks later. He didn't come as a hero. He came as a man who had seen too much. Julia met him at the door. "You look tired," she said. "I am," he replied. She hugged him. "Then rest. The world can wait." But even in peace, Earth kept moving. The rogue aliens who had helped during the war were given shelter. On one condition: they share what they know, and they did. Humanity got access to alien tech. Not weapons, not shields. Knowledge. Science jumped forward decades and months. Space travel, medicine, energy, and warning systems. Because one thing was clear: Earth had made enemies, and one day they might come back. But by then, Earth would be ready. Years passed. In the middle of what used to be New York, a new tower rose, not for power, not for money, for memory. A simple sign was placed at its base. "We do not kneel, we burn, and we remember." Children grew up under that message. They learned not just how to fight, but how to stand, how to survive, how to live. And when the first human-built ship left the solar system, it carried a single message across the stars. Not of peace, not of fear, but of warning. We are Earth. I do not submit. We burn. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, someone must have heard. Because the universe stayed quiet. For now.